Hi, I'm Jason. So you're thinking about getting PPF on your car, but you're not sure who to get it from, how much to pay, what kind to get, all of those kind of questions. You want to protect your new car. You've heard of paint protection film or PPF. I'm going to show you an example of what not to do and what happens if you shop for the cheapest price and have people install it that are not experts. So take a look at this Tesla 3 here, and I'll just work my way around. So this has PPF on the doors and the whole front clip and the mirrors. And from this distance, it looks fine, right? I mean, you don't see anything real going on here. But the first thing we notice is that they didn't wrap the edges. In other words, I should say they didn't wrap all the edges. So to show you exactly what that means, the PPF's like a sticker, right? And it just sticks on. And then the best practice is to take that sticker and wrap it around the edge like this. So here's a small sample of PPF. See, it's just like a clear sticker with backing on it. And so what I mean is you take it like this, stick it on, and then for the best protection of all your edges, you wrap that edge. Go around that edge like that, okay? And then you trim off the excess right here. And what that does is that just protects that edge. It may not seem like a big deal, but what happens is if you don't, like up here, they did not. Zoom in here and let you get that. See how that sticker right there? They did not wrap that. Okay, and so what that means is that edge is not protected. It can get damaged. Now that's probably not going to get damaged, right? It's hidden. But what happens is dirt collects along that edge because there's adhesive along the edge of that sticker. And so right there is an example. Dirt gets stuck to that, and then it's permanent, okay? In other words, you can get in there and scrub on it, with a cleaner, whatever you want to try to get that off. You can get these little brushes like this and get up underneath it and try to clean it. Guess what? It ain't happening. Here's another example, okay? See that dirt under there? It doesn't come out, okay? And so this is a cheap install. And it's because they didn't bother to wrap those edges. Now, why didn't they on this? Because this is more difficult. That front edge is more difficult to wrap because it's hard to get access. I'll back up and show you here. If you think about it, you take that sticker and you're laying it along here and then try to wrap it, you don't have much room. So you got to come back here and open the door to give you a little more room like this to wrap, but eventually you run out of room. So then you got to come inside here like this to get more access to that inner edge. And it's way down here, for example, and that's difficult. But that's the difference between a good install and a bad install. Okay, so as we continue on with that same theme, this mirrors the same way. They just put that sticker right here along this edge. They didn't bother to go all the way around here, all the way here. And so look at, now this is starting to accumulate dirt and will look bad. And this is a pretty new car. This, within a year, will look terrible. You will see a black outline like you took a Sharpie. Up here, same thing. Notice that? It's not wrapped. So this will look worse and worse over time. They didn't wrap this because it's faster and cheaper to just get a pre-cut out sticker and stick it on and go to the next thing. To wrap this whole thing takes quite a bit more skill to be able to do that. And so the installers that did this don't have that skill, and they were trying to cut corners. They also didn't remove this camera. A quality install, you remove this camera so that you can put that sticker in and go clear in and wrap all these edges, reinstall the camera, and you'll never know that film is there. Okay, so those are the examples, and this car is this way all the way around. Right there. See, so now that area is exposed. And so I guarantee over time, they'll get a rock chip there eventually. And so for the thousands they paid for this paint protection film, you're still going to get rock chips. Okay. There's some dirt starting to show up. This is a big one. I can't believe people do this cheap. But they didn't even bother removing this emblem and replacing it. See, it's all cut out around it. And again, that's just to save time and money. So when this is first applied, it looks great. You can't even hardly see this. But in a year, this will have a black outline of dirt on it. And yet it's so cheap to remove these, buy new ones, put your PPF on it, and then stick the new one to it. But again, that wasn't done. And so there's all these examples around here of why you want to pay a little bit more so that you get wrapped edges. And then the next thing is the quality of the film itself. So this film, I'm not going to name brands because I'm not here to brand bash, but this is a cheap film installed by a dealer. Okay, the big difference between that and the higher end films like S-Tech, spelled S-T-E-K, those films, self-healing properties, much shinier. They release dirt much easier. This thing, when I first prepped this and washed it, because we're doing a detail, I mean, the dirt was just sticking to it. I had to go through all kinds of steps to get that dirt safely off this car. So it's going to get dirty fast, which is the exact opposite of what you're looking for, right? Like if you have a ceramic coating, for example, it's going to get dirty. It's going to take much longer to get dirty and come clean really easy. You cheap out on paint protection film, you're going to get the opposite. It's going to look filthy a lot. And then plus the dirt lines are on the outside. Another little thing about when you cheap out on installers is look at this mistake, this flaw here, right here. This is a massive air bubble in the film. And again, this will only start to look worse as time goes by. Something got under this sheet when they were installing it on this door, because it's all installed as one sheet. And they didn't notice it or didn't know how to fix it or didn't care because their boss is saying, hey, get this car out the door. We got another one to bang out. And so you get this. So those are the things to look for. What I recommend, I'm not going to recommend a brand because I don't even install PPF myself. I have in the past, but I don't install it here. So I'm not even trying to sell you my services. I'm just saying go to a specialist that does PPF all the time, not a dealership. Find an independent installer that installs the higher end films, like S-Tech is one of the brands, and check their Google reviews, things like that. If they do a crappy job like this, the public will leave them bad reviews and you'll know it. Dealerships, they don't care, right? They just sell you when you do your financing and bang you out the door. They could care less. So if you're going to go through the expense of having PPF and paying for it, then get the best, get a really good one. Otherwise, skip it altogether and just go with the ceramic coating and you'll be better off. So anyway, I hope this saves somebody from getting a cheap, bad install and hating PPF and then recommending all PPF is bad to everybody, which is not the case. PPF can be fantastic if installed properly. Like anything else, you cheap out, you're going to get results like this. Thanks for watching.